Okay, well, I'm Mark Gerson, the co-founder and chairman of 3i Members, as well as United Hatzalah, and I'd like to thank the team at 3i for putting this together. 3i, as many of you know directly, because many of you are members, is a community of business people who work together to share investment opportunities, help each other with anything and everything business-related, broadly defined, and now to support the causes and the organizations that are helping those who are really victims of the worst evil that we've seen. And United Hatzalah of Israel, which I'll explain in a moment, has a campaign on right now to raise, as of Sunday, $20.3 million, but as the needs keep expanding, so do the financial needs. And the 3i community, which has just shown its
it's 48 million.
Yeah, it just got raised again. Now 28 million. Has
48.
Right. The 3i community has just shown its generosity and the immediacy of response to the point where I think right now 3i members are leading this campaign and are responsible for probably half of the rather remarkable sums that have been raised and are continuing to be raised in real time to support the volunteers on the ground. Now, what does United Hatzalah do? So United Hatzalah is the world's first crowdsourced community of volunteer first responders, 7,000 volunteers from throughout Israel who are trained, equipped, and ready to get to their neighbors in need at all times. The typical needs, which are 1,900 a day, are heart attack, strokes, choking, and bleeding. And during times of war, United Hatzalah is always there for the citizens rushing into the danger to help the sick, the wounded, and the injured. And Saturday morning, United Hatzalah deployed 1,500 volunteers to the south, has taken casualties, has treated thousands of people, and in the process has depleted pretty much all of its equipment, because the normal, very careful inventory system and knowledge of how long it's going to take each piece of equipment to be used, all that is gone now due to the war situation. And so the 1,500 volunteers, as well as other first responders, have all the equipment down south, and it needs to be immediately replenished. And so that's what United Hatzalah is doing here, and elsewhere, is immediately raising the funds to replenish the equipment that normally would have lasted weeks, months, and maybe years, and is now all spent, and to get new equipment, new supplies into the hands of the heroic volunteers who are rushing into the danger in the south, and apparently now the north of Israel.
A shiva, outdoor shiva, for one of the special forces police officers who was killed. The police have lost 46 policemen in this operation so far, and I'm head of an NGO that supports the bereaved families of policemen, of the police, and they did an extraordinary job. I've come from a shiva from a 19-year-old policewoman who basically saved a whole kibbutz by charging at the terrorists with her private weapon and killing 3 of them before she herself was killed. So this is the stories we're living on, every day. We are now hearing, as you hear, Mark, that there's fighting commenced in the north. The need for support for Hatzalah could not be more acute. Could not be more acute. Every dollar you give, goes to saving human life. And we have, this morning, I visited Barzilai Hospital in the south. The area was repeatedly hit by rockets while we were there. The terrorists actually target the hospital. And they talk about being overwhelmed with wounded, and people are suffering from trauma, connected emotionally to the trauma unit of Hatzalah, which is a world leader. There could not be a more acute need right now. I've never seen anything like this, and I've never seen a need like this. So immediate, so acute. So please, anything you can do for this organization, please do it. Personally, for me, and on behalf of all the people of Israel, to the degree that you do help us, we say very much todah rabah. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Michael. And Michael, you're doing a holy work to go to visit all these shiva homes of the policemen. I just got a phone call today from Michal Herzog, who's the president's wife. And she told me she went to visit one of the Yassam policemen, the special forces of the police, who was seriously injured. in the battles in the police station in Netivot, which is one of the calm cities of Israel. And a lot of these policemen were killed, were murdered. And he was saved, and she was talking to him, and he said, "You know who saved my life? A United Hatzalah volunteer who came 7 in the morning when no one was coming. Everyone was scared to come in. No ambulances were coming into the city.
You want to listen to the call with Ellie?
And she said, the president, the wife of the president says to me, Ellie, he was telling me the injured policeman that United Hatzalah volunteer, heroic volunteer, picked him up with all he had bullets all over him, put him in the back of his car, took another soldier who was injured, put him in the back of his car, and drove to the hospital in his car in the road. He was driving 120 miles an hour just to get through these terrorists that were waiting for him.
All right,
and saved their life. And this is what we were doing in the last few days. This started.
So Ellie, let's look how it started. So Saturday morning, 6:30, and then I talked to you shortly thereafter. Let's talk about what United Hatzalah learned and how United Hatzalah deployed, and basically what the organization has been doing and how you've been doing it, with what resources you've been doing it since 6:30 on Saturday morning.
So we have a network of 7,000 volunteers all over the country. These are all volunteers, very much like Uber. Every time some emergency happened, the closest volunteers gets alerted. So they got alerted at 6:40 that a shooting was going on in Sderot, which is a city right on the border of Gaza. And missile attacks started on that city. So the volunteer, Chaim, who's a rabbi, he was on the way to synagogue anyways, because it was Simchat Torah and Shabbat. He gets up early in the morning to go to synagogue, and he was very close to his ambicycle. So he jumped on his ambicycle and he was driving to the shooting. He thought it was just a regular shooting. What happens is once in a while you have a shooting, and then the person runs away and they have a victim and you treat them. It happens to us, unfortunately, in Israel all the time. When he gets there, he sees 20 terrorists in front of his eyes, and in the police station. They're taking over the police station in Sderot. So he didn't think twice. He's an incredible human being, Chaim. Takes out his gun. He's driving an ambicycle, and while he's driving an ambicycle, he's holding it in one hand, and he took the other hand and he took out his gun and he shot the terrorist that was closest to him and killed him. But then other terrorists started shooting at him, and he fell off his bike, his ambicycle, and he was injured. And he screamed on the walkie-talkie, "I'm injured, I'm injured." He got one bullet in his face, and he got a few bullets on his leg and arm, and he literally bandaged himself because he was losing so much blood. And this volunteer Chaim started this whole war for us in United Hatzalah, because
our sincere condolences. As President Biden put out yesterday, we are positioned to assist in any way needed. I know my colleagues from the FBI are on the way there right now. U.S. citizens were killed and have been taken hostage. So we will be arm in arm with you trying to respond to it.
Ellie and his team at United Hatzalah are doing, and obviously how critical a need it is. You don't respond that quickly unless the need is critical. So it's our honor to be supportive, and thank you for the opportunity to play a small role in everything you're doing. And
what is United Hatzalah prepared or preparing? I saw you reaching for that helmet behind you. What are you prepared or preparing to do?
Helmet, because they have a siren. They have a siren in Jerusalem, but they have a siren now in Jerusalem for, I don't know, like it's all day like this. I really think we are in our second independence war. That's what it looks like. This is. The reason I say this is because I live between the people here, and I got 100 phone calls from people that I don't even know. How do we get a license for a gun? We're preparing United Hatzalah for an independence war that might take a year. That's what we're looking at. And that's why when I asked Mark Gerson, please, let's get every one of you friends to support United Hatzalah. It's not a game. My father was a little kid when the Holocaust started. My father was 10 years old raising money for the Jews in Europe. And many Jews said, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And it was too late afterwards. And people said, we should have done something. Why didn't we do something? We should have done more. I am telling you now, Eli Beer, I've been to wars. I was in the Lebanon War, Second Lebanon War. I was in the worst terrorist attacks. This is the worst of the worst of the worst. This is nothing. What we saw the people slaughtered, these are little kids they slaughtered, babies. They're ready to kill every single one of us in Israel. That's what they want to do. And it could be they're going to join in with Hezbollah, which I want to at least raise now $50 million to have for United Hatzalah for the next 6 months. And while the next few months, we're going to continue raising money as things continue. We're going to give our lives for it. I am telling you, I'm ready to give my life for this country. This person that my wife actually saved his life. He's in the Tel Shomer hospital, and we flew him with our helicopters. We have 3 helicopters. We're flying patients to hospitals from far distances to the hospital. Gitti is one of my heroes. We asked her to join the Zoom last time, and she was traumatized. She didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
I love you all, and I hope to see you soon in Israel. We're going towards the largest purchasing of medical equipment now. $15 million already went out to buy these high-end defibrillator monitors. We're buying 2,000 medical kits, trauma kits that we need desperately on the field. We're buying these bulletproof vests and helmets that we should have more. 2,000 of these were ordered. 10 generators. We need to order special vehicles off-road that are armed, that we can actually protect ourselves. We are going to purchase $50 million of medical supply for the next 6 months. This is going to be a long war. We need your help to win.